technology can't replace the in-person, for long-term personal relationship, but using technology combined with good relationship building skills is a recipe that will be very tough to compete with.
Welcome to CRE Tech Pulse. Enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to this week's CRE Tech Pulse, where we explore the intersection between technology and commercial real estate. In this week's episode, we have Andy Westby from Fargo. Yes, that Fargo. Being in a tertiary market means that major data suppliers ignore. So Andy and his team have developed their own database to help close more deals. We'll talk about the benefits and pitfalls, social media, and artificial intelligence. But before we get to the interview, let's send it over to CRE Tech News. And thanks to this week's sponsors, we're able to hire brand new news anchors.
This week in CRE Tech News, a mysterious chatbot appears and Sam Altman is into it. Apple discusses integrating OpenAI into its phones, and Synthesia uses expressive avatars. But first, let's send it over to Francesca for a report on real estate technology.
Thanks, Jazz. In this week's CRE Tech News, not a lot happened. But you can personalize AI dance videos from a selfie, so you can look forward to videos from commercial real estate brokers introducing new podcasts in a dance compilation. Back to you!
Thanks. GPT-2 made its rounds on the internet with increased capabilities, prompting some to conclude this is a tester for potentially a new ChatGPT 4.5 to come out. Sam Altman tweeted that he had a soft spot for GPT-2e, which is both interesting and unnerving. According to a Bloomberg report, Apple is in negotiations with OpenAI on integrating its chatbot into an iOS 18 update. So now you'll have a reason to spend $2,000 on an upgrade and get push notifications on Sam Altman's soft spots. And finally, Synthesia has integrated expressive avatars into its platform for more realistic conversations. Unfortunately, Michael is a cheapskate and won't pay for the upgraded version, so you're left with us. And that's a wrap for this week's Tech News.
On to the interview.
Wanted to discuss with you just some of your technology and software background and your transition into commercial real estate industry, and potentially how that tech background may have helped you in your CRE adventures.
Appreciate you having me on, Michael. A really unique path I took into commercial real estate. Came out of school, the management information systems degree, and ended up getting an internship at a small company, Great Plains Software, a company here in Fargo. And in 1 year of interning there, they were acquired by Microsoft. And I spent about 11 years there total. And then as time went on, I wanted to get more into the business side, and so I transitioned more into product management, product marketing. And after 11 years, I hit a point where I knew I wanted to do something different, and was starting to think a little bit about what that next phase of my career looked like. Eventually zeroed in on commercial real estate. And so I had a friend that worked in the business for many years, back from my college days, reached out to him, shared my idea, and one thing led to another. Next thing is I've been doing this for about 8 years now. So
Fargo, it's tertiary market, and maybe some of the challenges, and maybe some of the positives of being in a market like that.
Fargo, Morehead, the metro area, very tertiary. As I said, we have a population of around 250,000 plus or minus. Our metro really it's made up of about 5 different municipalities in total, Fargo being the largest by far. And one of the challenges, of course, from just getting your arms around the market and understanding the universe of commercial real estate. All 5 of them have different databases and systems that they use to track information with different categories and classifications of information. And so coming in from outside of the commercial real estate world, I started asking questions early about, well, how much total office space is in the market, or how much industrial space was added last year. I was amazed that the answers to those questions were not easily, found out. We're too small for CoStar to care about, or have teams of people, researching. And it surprised me that so little data existed in our market. And I'm I was just asking myself constantly, like, how are people making decisions? Like, how am I going to go add value for somebody when I can't tell you what the average asking price of industrial space is, or how much vacancy there is in the office market downtown? We saw an opportunity to let's roll up our sleeves and just get as much of this raw data that we can from public entities, from the listing service, from this each individual city, and we took every piece of data we get our hands on, we did it, and we went through across the organizing it, categorizing it, and then we built up our own tool set to track all that data. So our agents and our team are as up to date on what's happening in this market as anybody could be.
So creating this proprietary software that you had, what were the biggest challenges that you had in creating it and getting all that information and accessing all that information?
We got municipalities that they do have electronic systems with a lot of the raw data that they could export and share with us. And we didn't have all your data. If we get your data, we can clean it up, and then we'll share it back with you. And that was a huge win. Cities just very happy to give us information because we add value to it, and then bring that back to them. And so a lot of challenges is just working with 5, 6, 7 different data sets and normalizing that. We build a software in a way that help automate some of that process, but there's always pieces where we would have to manually check the data. And so a challenge is just the time of manually going through what amount is that. I mean, we've probably got 15 to 17,000 records across these different categories in our system. And at one point in time, someone has touched or dominated every single one of those. But now moving forward, as we add new data, new lease, new transactions, new sales data, new property data, we're talking minutes to hours a week rather than, a huge heavy lift. And where we pivoted to is tying all our information together, because we have 2,500 lease transactions, and we've got 3,000 sale transactions. Owners, unique owners, entity names that own those properties. If someone says, hey, I want to have insight into this particular building, that is a retail building on a main thoroughfare, we can pull that building up. We can see who owns it. We can see what other buildings does that owner have. So do they own the building next door, or maybe across the road? What transactions have occurred to that building? How many leases do we track those? So you have an idea of who's been coming and going, and what the asking rates were. And so that through review, we can kind of attack that from any angle. So a super powerful way to view the market, view the data, target markets.
Yeah. Are you planning on scaling this technology at some point to other potential tertiary brokers?
The scaling we're doing right now is just making it more whole feature. So adding more information and features and technology to help our team. And so that's still the number one focus. It's how to continue to improve it and push it, even further than where we're at today. We have had a lot of requests locally, so we share the software and we demo it to banks and appraisers and clients and individuals quite regularly. I don't really want to leave real estate to do technology. And so once you start adding users and licensing, how do you support those people, and how do you continue to make sure you're adding value, and how do you train them, and just opens up a whole other avenue of what I used to help Westby be involved with. That would take me away from doing what I love, which is brokerage. Right? I want to help people do deals and do deals for others. And then scaling it beyond, of course, it's the same answer of how that would take you more efforts. I think the opportunity is absolutely there. Maybe there'll come a point where I'll find the time and the energy to do that. But right now, between light and 3 busy kids at home and transactions and brokerage, it's not orange right now.
So the software that you created seems to be like a cornerstone of your brokerage and your value add. Can you provide us a case study where it really helped close a client or really helped close a deal?
Coming out of COVID, where industrial was booming across the nation, not just locally, but across the nation, we were starting to see transactions for commercial industrial buildings approaching $90, $95, $105 a square foot. Historically, pre-COVID, and even to get the great geographical, we would normally see those in $55 to $75 range. we're seeing shift in the market just based on the sales that we're getting in. And there's now about 13 buildings. There was about 9 pieces of land around these buildings. It was an entire city block. It was, I think, the father and the mother had passed, and now the sibling, you were managing those 13 buildings and 9 pieces of land. And a trust was involved, and it said, you know what, we don't want all this anymore. Let's turn this into. And the trust company at the time had been given some advice from a different company about what's it, auction the whole block off. So it as one, wholesale it. Some investor wants to pick up a portfolio of buildings, both. Right? Well, a couple problems with that. One, they only hadn't really kept up with market risk, and so they weren't being tied to us as they're doing the releases. We would have released their spaces for 3 times the amount that they were releasing them out for, but they didn't work with us. They were going to do them on their own. So we did that case study using our recent comps. They did an opinion of value on this set of properties. We believed in a retail fashion based on our data that we could achieve a total sale of around $9 million. And they were estimating the sale at a wholesale level of $4.5 to $5 million. They had some interest from investors locally at that $4.5 to $5 million mark. We came in and said, no, I think we can do significantly better. I think we can average around $100 a foot for these buildings. I also think we called up in Oregon who had heard about the estimates and the numbers, and you guys are crazy. There's no way you can get $100 up for those buildings. But within 12 months, we had sold the entire block. Completed probably small transactions instead of one. And the gross sales number was just under $9 million. So we hit just below the high estimate that we had given them. And without the information at our fingertips and the pulse on the market, we would have significantly undershot the opportunity with that family.
All right, so your proprietary software, it's not the only technology that you're using in your business. What else are you using, and how have you integrated it?
Yeah, from a marketing perspective, of course, our LumenNet, XD, Land.com, our local MLS. We're doing currently more focused. HubSpot Enterprise, we recently rolled out for our CRM and deal tracking. When I came in as a broker or as an agent, we have a very archaic CRM system that nobody was using. And so after a fair amount of trial and evaluation, we went on HubSpot, which is more of a horizontal CRM, but it offers a lot of customization to make it a little more vertical. ZoomInfo is a software that we license for contact info. We integrate that into HubSpot as well. Recently, we started using ScoutSpace.io, which is a nice tool, allows some PI to help automate and polish the tenant site survey, site selection process. ChatGPT, of course, and the AI tools out there. We're always using those more and more. The simple things like content and image generation, we're using it. Please, or contract abstraction. There's a tool called Snail Blast from mycreativeshop.com that we found very neat. And pretty cost effective to do postcard mailers. They do business tool set, there's ArcGIS and some Isometry and some other tools that the CCM database that have been helpful. Google Ads, you've recently made an investment to do some Google Ad work, help with an expert third party, and then Office 365, and we work chunkies within Excel and Outlook and PowerPoint. So that's the main collection of tools that we're using today.
Real estate tech, prop tech is changing rapidly. Have you seen anything that has been teased or anything that you're excited to really see in the next, coming advancement of, 6 months here, maybe more?
Yeah, I mean, hands down, it has to be what's going on in the world of AI. I mean, it's all makes your head spin at how quickly things are advancing and how quickly new tools and ideas and things are coming in that world. And so that's kind of the number one area. I looked at some of the tools that can do ringless voicemails or automate phone calls to gather information. I'm a little scared about, deploying an AI agent to call prospect. I made some custom GPTs with the help of, a gentleman on the X AI, and just going away that is the number one area of technology that is already having an impact on CRE, and I think will only grow in depth.
So if I'm a commercial broker, or investor, or developer, I'm maybe a little hesitant to get into sort of the AI side of things. What would be your recommendations on, maybe starting to sprinkle that in and weaving that into your operations?
Oh, the easiest stuff to start with is content, help with marketing, copy, ideas for blog posts. There's so much. It's really good at the content generation side. And that's the easy stuff, the low hanging fruit. And getting really good at even image generation. Dolly is a part of ChatGPT, one of the tools that's in there. And I hate creating an image that illustrates X, Y, and Z, and use that image that you can use on your website or on, a PowerPoint pitch or, a social media post. It's just it's a huge time saver. Today, I had to craft an email. I was going to go out to write 10 different people, send an email to all of them about 2 different listings that were coming out. I wrote 2 PDFs or 2 marketing brochures, which we spend time in developing and creating content for. Give them the ChatGPT, so give me an email, summarize the 2 listings, let them know it's an advanced preview window, and just highlight the key aspects of these 2. And in less than 50 seconds, it spit out an email that I created in that spent a minute editing, and it was spot on. And what if it could be probably I could have spent a half hour trying to create that content on my own. I haven't done it in about 2 minutes. Like I've heard multiple say, this technology will never be the data that it is today. Right? It'll never be worse than it is right now. And it's scary how good it is in so many areas. Knowing how to use it, if you're going to.
There's so much new tech that's coming out, so many new tools. What's your process for vetting them and sort of understanding if that's going to be a good fit for your commercial real estate business?
There's a handful of people, I follow on X and Twitter, just kind of see what other people are using. And so I let them kind of help steer me to like an interesting tool. We have that hour network, do a lot of exhibitors who come and, you get to talk to those folks and they're willing to set you up on a demo and try things out. So we try to do a fair amount of hands-on demos.
Well, one of the things is it takes so much time to create your own software, right? And obviously there's going to be some pitfalls associated with that. What would you say? At what point do you say, yes, this is something that we should put our time and effort into? And what were the stumbles along the way?
Number one, when you're building your own tech, the great part is you use it you want, and the bad part is you use it you want. And sometimes just focusing and directing, the investments you're making. If you're going to spend time, money, and energy on something, make sure it's worth it. In an ideal world, I'd love to have handle a lot of the requirements work off somebody else. But so one of the negatives is it's taking a lot of time, out of my day and the cases of other people here, to work on it. Every minute I'm spending building or writing requirements for a new feature or testing out the features as they come back from development is time that I'm not spending in my market. But I do view the long-term gain is worth it, right? If you're at a point where you don't have or can't make the time to invest in it, you can't really trust someone else to build it because they won't know what you need. It's got to come from you. It's got to come from your team. It's got to come from someone in the business.
We were connected through social media. What social media are you on? Are there ones that you think are just the best for business and creating business?
Predominantly, I would say Twitter or X is the machine platform that I'm get them all selling from. There's a huge community of people that are so willing to share. The second one will be LinkedIn, and it's so for me, it's so far below X that it's even hard to mention them in the same breath. I just find that willingness to help, share, and educate others is superior on X. And if you're in CRE and you are not on Twitter or X, I highly recommend you on. You just start searching, hashtag CRE, retweets, retweets. There's a handful of hashtags that are being used by some very frequent posters with some really valuable content.
Yeah, I second that 100%. I mean, if you're brand new in the industry, you should be scouring that stuff because there's nuggets of gold everywhere, right?
Absolutely. I send, 9 to publish a week to our team. Yeah, this was gold. This was great.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. And appreciate you reaching out, and happy to share however I can. So
Being in a major market means a major. And this week, because of and thanks to this week's sponsor, we're able to hire